Which regulatory body approved the appointment of Mr. S. Krishnan as the part-time chairman of Jammu and Kashmir Bank? Correct option is A. Reserve Bank of India. Which was the first act passed by the British Parliament to regulate and control the affairs of the East India Company? Correct option is C. Regulating Act 1773. What is the molar mass of calcium chloride? Correct option is D. 111 gram per mole. Who was the first president of the Indian National Congress? Right option is C. Umesh Chandra Banerjee. Which vascular tissue is responsible for transporting water and minerals from the roots to the leaves? Correct option is B. Xylem. Banu Mushtaq won the International Booker Prize 2025 for Heart Lamp, which belongs to which category of literature? Right option is C. Short story collection. Under Article 240 of the Indian Constitution, the President of India does not have the power to make regulations for which of the following union territories? Correct option is D. Chandigarh. With reference to the Luni River, which of the following statements is correct? Correct option is D. It disappears into the marshy lands of the Rann of Kutch in Gujarat. Article 338 of the Indian Constitution is related to which of the following? Right option is A. National Commission for Scheduled Castes. Which type of tissue forms the inner lining or mucosa of the human intestine? Correct option is C. Simple columnar epithelium. What is the wavelength of a wave with a frequency of 220 Hz and a speed of 440 meters per second? Correct option is B. 2 meters. Which of the following dancers is a renowned exponent and guru associated with the revival of the classical Odissi dance style? Right option is B. Kelucharan Mohapatra. Which of the following is considered the primary overarching function of connective tissue in the human body? Correct option is C. To connect, support, and bind together other tissues and organs. In the periodic table of elements, what is the chemical element represented by the symbol B? Right option is A. Boron. Which of the following symbols is used to represent a variable resistance in an electrical circuit diagram? Correct option is C. A zigzag line or rectangle with an arrow passing through it. When a solid object is fully or partially immersed in a liquid, a decrease is observed in which of the following? Correct option is A. Apparent weight of the object. If the amount of solute in a solution is doubled and the amount of solvent is also doubled, what will be the effect on the concentration of the solution? Correct option is C. The concentration remains unchanged. With specialized, flexible connective tissue provides structural support to the human outer ear and the tip of the nose? Right option is B. Elastic cartilage. If an object moves with uniform acceleration, what is the nature of its velocity time graph? Right option is C. A straight line inclined to the time axis. Where should an object be placed relative to the principal axis of a convex lens to obtain a real and inverted image? Right option is A. Above the principal axis at a distance greater than the focal length. The gravitational force between two objects depends on which of the following factors? Correct option is B. The mass of the objects and the distance between them. What is the name of the process in which a single parent cell divides into two equal and genetically identical daughter cells? Correct option is D. Binary fission. What happens when calcium is treated with cold water? Right option is C. It reacts less violently and bubbles of gas formed stick to its surface. The recent $131 million defense deal for Hawkeye 360 technology has taken place between which two countries? Correct option is A. India and the United States. What is the primary function of the cell wall in plant cells? Correct option is C. Providing structural support and protection. If a concave mirror has a radius of curvature of 4 cm and forms a real image at a distance of 6 cm, what is the object distance? Right option is D. 3 cm. Where was the 30th edition of the CII Partnership Summit 2025 inaugurated by Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan? Correct option is A. Visakhapatnam. Through which of the following acts was the central and provincial budget separated for the first time? Correct option is C. Government of India Act 1919. Which famous slogan was given by Bal Gangadhar Tilak? Correct option is C. Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. In chemical industries, bleaching powder is primarily used as which of the following? Right option is B. As an oxidizing agent. Which of the following words were added to the preamble of the Indian Constitution by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976? Right option is D. Socialist, secular, integrity. What is the main difference in nutrient release speed between chemical fertilizers and organic manure? Correct option is C. Chemical fertilizers release nutrients immediately. Which of the following is not included in the calculation of the Human Development Index? Correct option is D. Social and religious equality. Which of the following organisms does not reproduce through the budding method? Right option is A. Amoeba. Which of the following statements is correct regarding the visible light spectrum? Right option is B. Red light travels faster than violet light in a transparent medium. Which of the following, when dissolved in water, will produce a solution that undergoes a neutralization reaction with hydrochloric acid? Correct option is B. Sodium hydroxide. According to the RBI Monetary Policy Statement in February, what is the projected real GDP growth rate for India in the financial year 2025-26? Correct option is D. 7.4%. If the frequency of an electric current is 50 Hz, what is the total number of cycles completed in 1 minute? Right option is C. 3000. What is the first major product of the reaction between methane and chlorine in the presence of sunlight? Right option is B. Chloromethane. If the mass of an object is doubled while the acceleration due to gravity remains constant, what happens to the weight of the object? Correct option is A. It is doubled. Fleming's left-hand rule is used to determine the direction of which of the following? Correct option is C. Force acting on a current-carrying conductor. Which of the following compounds has a molecular mass of 44 U? Right option is D. Propane. In a homogeneous mixture, such as a true solution, what is the typical diameter range of the solute particles? Right option is C. Less than 1 nanometer. Choose the correct option to complete the analogy. Correct option is A. Spirogyra. When zinc granules are added to a blue solution of copper sulfate, the solution turns colorless and a reddish-brown metal is deposited. This reaction is an example of. Correct option is A. Displacement reaction. An electrical appliance is rated at 110 volt and 1200 watts. What is the value of the current flowing through it? Correct option is C. 10.91 ampere. Generally, nonmetals are poor conductors of electricity. Which of the following is the only nonmetal that is a good conductor of electricity? Right option is B. Graphite. Which of the following locations in the body is primarily lined by simple squamous epithelium for the purpose of rapid diffusion and filtration? Correct option is C, the air sacs of the lungs. Newton's first law of motion primarily describes which of the following conditions? Correct option is B, balanced forces and inertia in the absence of external force. In the context of its abundant natural resources, Nagpur city in Maharashtra is primarily famous for the mining and production of which of the following? Correct option is A, coal. What is the primary function of the dialysis method? Correct option is C, to filter waste products and remove excess fluid from the blood. How many of the following items are biodegradable? Right option is D, 3. Which of the following statements is true regarding the atomic mass of an atom? Correct option is B. It is primarily the sum of the number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus. An object of mass 5,000 kilograms is moving with a velocity of 20 meters per second. If it comes to rest in 10 seconds after applying brakes, what is the braking force? Correct option is C, 10,000 Newton. Which Amendment Act of the Indian Constitution introduced the Goods and Services Tax in India? Correct option is C, 101st Amendment Act 2016. In which year was the Indus Waters Treaty signed between India and Pakistan? Right option is C, 1960. Which is the highest peak of the Western Ghats and also considered the highest peak of South India? Correct option is A, Anamati. Which of the following is not a constitutional body in India? Correct option is C, National Human Rights Commission. Which country successfully launched the GSAT-7R communication satellite on 2nd November? Right option is B, India. Who became the first Indian female compound archer to win a medal at the Archery World Cup final, achieving this milestone in China in 2025? Right option is B, Jyoti Surekha Venam. Who among the following is not included in the trinity of Carnatic music? Correct option is D, Purandaradasa. In which year was the State Disaster Response Fund officially constituted in India? Right option is C, in 2010.